Did you know that you could use BookieBashing to download large-scale historical data for your own analysis? So here's a tweet from Chris Poole. The other night, this was Manchester City versus Tottenham. He noticed it was 48.00 for 0-0 and thought that that must be close on for a record for an EPL match. And he asks ex-head of football Nick Goff, so Chris Poole. He is the head of trading over at BetVictor. And yeah, he was just interested, has an EPL match been higher than 48 for 0-0? Now, we can guess or we can use our memories, but it's much easier to have data. And at BookieBashing, we can download large historical data sets, and that's what I'm going to show you now. So under tools, we have a number of archive tools. For the football, we store all of our historical data lines, so the Game Center detailed lines, player XG, player stats, match XG. We've even got 180s coming. I mean, everything that we have a line for, we store it because we want to know how it's performed historically. Now, 0-0 comes under the Game Center, so I could go to the Game Center. The thing is, if you go to the Archive Game Center, you need to download each match on an individual match basis. And so, there are hundreds of matches across the season in the Premier League. That's going to take a long time. But we have this bulk downloads markets, and that means you can select an individual market and download that for lots of games at the same time. That's exactly what I'm going to do. So I've come over to the archive calculation for bulk downloads, and I'm going to select 0-0. We've got all these different Game Center markets in here. Here's 0-0. And I want a year's worth of data. You can't have more than a year because it would freeze up your browser, whether it's Chrome or Safari or whatever. And we're not using any special software. We're doing this over a browser, so we limit you to a year. So you can scroll backwards through the months, but actually it's easier just to click the year up here. And I'm going to go back to the 16th of May, 2023, because today's the 16th of May, 2024. Now, I can't select 2024 just now. I'm forced into a shorter time period. And the reason is because I'm asking for every single league. So I'm just going to type in the English Premier League. I could select 1 or 2 or 3 competitions and I can get a year's worth of data, but you can't download all the data for every competition because it would crash your browser. So we stopped that. So we could do the Premiership. We could even do the Championship as well at the same time if we wanted to, but I'm going to limit it there. And I'll come forward and I want 16th of May 23 to 16th of May 24. If I wanted really short price favorites, like just all favorites under 1.3, I could filter that. But I'm not going to. I want all matches, so all favorites will be between 1 and 4. And I press Get Calculations. If you see up at the ribbon here, we've now got a little counter. It's trying to count down from 1. If you get a red X up there, it means it's failed. It probably means you've got quite a bad internet connection. Maybe you're out and about. But so far it's got 200 games. And once it says we can copy this to CSV or download the CSV as it does now, it has worked and given us the data. So I've just clicked Copy CSV and I'm going to go over to Excel. And I paste the data. And there we go. I'm going to get 1 more year's worth of data. So maybe the year before. Back to 2022. It automatically updates the 2 to 1 year later. And I'm going to get those calculations. And I'll copy these to CSV. I'll put them into Excel. And I could go back and do this for year after year after year if I wanted to. But let's just have a look at the last couple of years worth of data and see if Chris is correct. So copy CSV into that. So now I'm going to sort this. If you need to, by the way, if it comes out all in the same column, you just need to go text to columns and separate them by comma. But I've already set it up to do that, so I don't need to. So yeah, I'm going to sort this by column D, which is the 0-0. Press OK, and what we see here, if I just open these up, is that, well, I've sorted them by favourites. The most favourite was Wolves Crystal Palace. No goals expected in that. So let's sort it by least favourite. Got a couple of headers at the top, but we can see that in the last couple of years, 48.0 has been beaten 18 times. Liverpool Sheffield United on the 4th of April this year was 85. Between 2 competitive teams, Liverpool Tottenham just 10 days ago on the 5th of May 2024 was 55. So there have been a few games that have been over 48.00. Not many, because our sample size here is 773 games. So of that game the other night, only 18 of those 773 in the last couple of seasons have been above 48.0. But this kind of analysis does help us when we're looking at large-scale historical data. We can get it out of bookie bashing quite quickly. Incidentally, in this column here, we see false. That means that it did not win. Undefined means the game was void for whatever reason. It was called off. What was the highest game that actually came in? Here it is. Liverpool versus Manchester United on the 17th of December 2023. 33-1 for 0-0 on the exchange. True means it did win. And if we come over, there Google just confirms that. 17th of December 2023. Liverpool 0, Man United 0, Dalot. Red card, 94th minute. So that is how to download bulk calculations using the archive tools at BookieBashing.net.